Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Madison. May 13th is the one-year anniversary of the death of 18-year-old Sam Castro. The North High School student was shot in the chest on Frederick Street. He later died of his injuries at a local hospital. Tonight, family and friends gathered for a vigil organized by Castro's mother, Margarita Delgado. In remembering her son, she says no child should ever be forgotten.
It's important to remember all the children that have been lost to violence in the city of Leicester. Not only my son, but last year we lost a couple of children too, and the year before. And I think it's so important as moms to come together and fight the biggest battle ever, which is to stop the violence in the streets.
It's a day to just ponder about what happened, just to think about what bad actions do.
19-year-old Emil Encarnacion of Worcester and 19-year-old Connor Ferguson of Leicester have been charged with murder in connection to Castro's death. One of the Massachusetts state troopers involved in this week's car chase that ended in New Hampshire has been suspended. The police chase involving a Worcester man has received national attention and led to an investigation on if officers used excessive force. Our Olivia Lemon has a look at the latest developments.
I find it pretty shocking, like everybody else, with someone's hands on the ground to take punches like he did.
Attorney Michael Ehrlich says the video of Richard Simone's arrest is shocking, but he's not sure it's enough for Simone to build a strong case against police. The 50-year-old Worcester man led police on an hour-long chase through Massachusetts and New Hampshire Wednesday.
All his actions that led up to this event would be part of any case, and I don't think you're going to get a lot of sympathy from jurors in terms of a monetary value.
Simone had multiple warrants out for his arrest for charges including assault with a dangerous weapon and negligent operation of a motor vehicle. The video, which has now been seen nationwide, shows Simone dropping to his knees and police throwing punches. Investigations into the actions of two troopers involved is underway.
Whatever he did to lead up to this chase, he definitely deserves a punishment. But that type of punishment he does not deserve. Simone's
cousin says he's been in trouble in the past, but he's not a violent person.
Adrenaline's running, the tempers are high. They finally got him, and then when they got him, that was the outcome. And it's sad.
Being able to take the person's hands first versus punching in the face would have been probably a more appropriate course of action.
Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
Leicester police investigating who abandoned a boat on Mulberry Street. The Leicester police chief says the boat was discovered last month. He says it has plates and an environmental registration on it. The 1986 20-foot bayliner was also seen advertised on a local for sale website. An owner has not been found. The chief says the town is now responsible for disposing the boat.
What really is concerning to us about this boat is rather than pay for it to be disposed of, the individual or individuals simply brought it into Leicester, dumped it on the side of the road, and said, let the town of Leicester worry about it. So we've had it towed out of here by a contractor who will now have to work on getting the boat disposed of.
Police say the person responsible could face abandonment charges. Anyone with any information about the mysterious boat is asked to call Leicester Police. The Massachusetts Senate has approved a bill to ban discrimination against transgender people in public areas. The vote was 33-4. The bill would let transgender people use bathrooms that correspond with their gender identity. Opponents say the bill would violate the privacy rights of girls and women. The debate now heads to the House. Senator Harriet Chandler says in a statement, quote, I support this bill because it is imperative to secure protections for transgender individuals, but also to acknowledge that their struggles are made worse when they are misunderstood because of ignorance or intolerance. Massachusetts is looking for foster parents. The Department of Children and Families is hosting several events this weekend for those interested, including one right here in Worcester. May is National Foster Care Month. There will be a recruitment session at Kimball Farm on Saturday starting at 10. The Worcester session is Sunday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Ecotarium. The events are free and involve speaking with current foster parents. Two local high school softball teams pitching in to help breast cancer patients during treatment. Shrewsbury High School and St. Peter Marion are playing against each other and competing to help those in need. They've got their pink uniforms ready to go.
Like we had like sparkly pink eye black last year, and like we get the shirts and the socks, and it's a great feeling, and because it's, you know, you're playing for something bigger than yourself.
Both St. Peter Marion and Shrewsbury softball teams taking the field for a charity game to benefit breast cancer victims.
It goes along with the mission of being a team player and reaching out to your community. So us as parents actually give them the opportunity to be able to reach out to the community and donate some time back.
The two teams raising money for Breast Intentions of Massachusetts, an organization aimed at helping victims as they go through treatment. Their responsibility is to take care of, as their motto states, whatever keeps you up at night.
Some patients need gas cards and groceries, some need mortgage and heat. Like, it depends on every patient's different.
This is the second year the two teams are playing each other to raise money for breast cancer. Tonight's game postponed because of weather, giving the teams more time to work toward their goal of raising as much money as they did last year.
But I know we did meet our goal. Yeah, we passed it by a lot. Yeah.
There's nothing more devastating, I think, than having an illness that you have to get treated for, and you know, to be able to have people in your, you know, in your corner helping you out every step of the way is the reason we do it.
Now, the game was scheduled for this evening, but it was postponed due to weather. They believe that it will be scheduled possibly as early as this weekend. Last year, the two teams raised around $10,000. The DCU Center hosted New England's largest annual job fair earlier today. More than 150 companies participating this year, including Worcester Public Schools and UMass Memorial Medical Center. The event was organized by the Workforce Central Career Center. Our Brittany Schaefer has the details.
I think this is going to be a record breaker.
Central New England's largest annual job fair brings thousands to the DCU Center Friday.
We are thrilled with being able to help this many people and more that are going to come through.
We have a very wide cross-section of industries represented today, and part of the requirement to participate is that you had to have legitimate openings.
The president of 290 Auto Body, Justin Forcu, says the biggest difference in this year's fair is the amount of people looking for work.
We put out job applications in a lot of different places, and this seems to yield the most people. I mean, because of the access that you've given us in the area, people just stop in.
We actually have 10 job openings here today that we're talking to people about.
More than 150 employers were part of Friday's fair. Job seekers were thankful for the free opportunity.
There are really so many companies here, and it's really a great opportunity. Then I can communicate with the HR directly.
You know, I looked around the area for jobs, and they saying no jobs, and going to workforce. So I'm saying thank you, and I'm privileged to be here today.
The DCU Center's Jim Moen says the crowds at this year's event shows many people in Central Mass need work.
I think in the past we've been in the 2,000, but it's over the entire day. In less than 2 hours, we were at this number. And looking at it a few minutes ago, they're just streaming still into the door.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
One person is recovering today after escaping a fire in a trailer at a campground in Woodstock this morning. 11 fire departments from Connecticut and Massachusetts responded to the fire, which was reported just before 7. Officials say the trailer and a structure built around the trailer were destroyed, but the owner and a pet got out without injury. Meadowside of Woodstock Campground is a seasonal facility, and the owner of the trailer was up from Florida for the season. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Some tense moments this morning in one New Hampshire town as 2 officers are shot, prompting a massive manhunt for the suspect. Our Michael Rosenfield has the details.
He was a suspect in a robbery at a Manchester gas station on Thursday, and when a police officer spotted a man with a similar description early Friday morning on the city's west side, white man, long hair, wearing a trench coat, he jumped into action.
The officer got out of his vehicle, indicated to dispatch that he was doing so, and almost immediately after indicated that shots were fired and that he was struck.
Officer Ryan Hardy was hit in the face and the shoulder. As other officers raced to the scene, they found the suspect about a mile away, also on the west side.
At which time the subject started to fire upon the officers while exclaiming that, "I'm your man."
Police officer Matthew O'Connor was hit in the leg.
And we were in the window watching, all the cops started pulling up and they had their guns out and jumping out of the cars, and they told us to stay in our house and out of the windows for our safety.
There was a shelter in place ordered for the neighborhood.
This used to be a very nice neighborhood. It's not so anymore.
About 3 hours later, police tracked down the suspect just a few blocks away and took him into custody. That man, 32-year-old Ian McPherson, is now facing 2 counts of attempted capital murder.
He seemed like kind of normal, but he was kind of weird. He used to walk up and down the street with his head down, and he always wore that trench coat, and he had the long hair. He was just always walking with his head down, and he seemed a little odd.